But you guys are familiar with that show, The Daily Shoah? Basically, Daily Shoah means Daily Holocaust, and it's a white supremacist show, a really popular white supremacist show. And one of their hosts is an EMT. And on this show, The Daily Shoah, he plays a character. And his character basically makes fun of black people. He plays a character, quote unquote. His character is a doctor or a medical professional who tortures black people and goes around and talks bad about black people, makes fun of black people. He's basically making fun of the people that he treats as an EMT. So he got fired for it. Alex McNabb, a prominent white supremacist podcaster, has been fired from his job as an emergency medical technician in northwestern Virginia, according to reports from multiple local media outlets. His termination comes 3 months after a HuffPo report exposed McNabb's racist diatribes on the white supremacist podcast, The Daily Shoah. The Jeb Stuart Volunteer Rescue Squad in Patrick County, Virginia, voted unanimously Sunday to terminate McNabb, according to the news station WSLS. McNabb has been a regular co-host of over 130 episodes of The Daily Shoah. The podcast title makes mocking reference to the genocide of 6 million Jews in World War II. Shoah means calamity in Hebrew and typically refers to the Holocaust. On the podcast, which has featured prominent white supremacist guests, including Richard Spencer and Andrew Anglin, McNabb frequently assumes a persona he names Dr. Narkin. As Dr. Narkin, McNabb tells his co-host stories about being an EMT, referring to black patients as dindus, a deeply racist slur, and comparing them to animals. It's hard to find a dindu vein anyway because they're black. Basically, he's talking about how hard it is to find black people's veins when you're an EMT because they're black and you can't find them. McNabb maintains that his Dr. Narkin character is a work of fiction. And one of the most disturbing Dr. Narkin segment, McNabb recounts dealing with an unruly young African-American male child running around an emergency room. As it turned out, this young African-American male was there to get blood drawn. So guess who volunteered to take his blood, he told his co-host. Dr. Narkin enjoyed great satisfaction as he terrorized this youngster with a needle and stabbed him thusly in the arm with a large gauge 4 catheter. So basically he's bragging about torturing a black child in his job as an EMT on his white supremacist talk show. Medical experts told HuffPost that large gauge needles should never be used on young children. So just basically this piece of shit who's gone on a white supremacist show joking, quote unquote, I guess he was joking, about torturing black children, and he got fired for it. So anyway, they had a hearing to determine what he was going to be fired for, and there was a councilman that basically just let him fucking have it. This guy's basically like, hey, it's all jokes, man. You shouldn't be able to fire me for making jokes about torturing black people who are in my care because it's all jokes. Freedom of speech, right? I should be able to say whatever. But no, dude, you can't do, like, seriously, what the fuck? These guys are such pieces of fucking shit, man. Let's listen a little bit.
What was in the Huffington Post? Amen. And I want you to tell me, all right, is this wrong? Is there something factually incorrect? Your show is called The Daily Shoah, a popular neo-Nazi podcast. On the show, you regularly tell stories about being an EMT, often referring to your patients by racial slurs and comparing black patients to animals. Is that not a true statement?
Okay, let me clarify that. That's a fictional character. None of those stories and nothing in there in any way represents reality. It's all made up.
I'm not racist, it's just jokes, bro. And that's what they do, right? Actual racists hide behind, it's just jokes, bro. And other people who don't really think they're racist, who also make racist jokes, they hide behind you because you guys all support them. You're like, you guys think everybody's racist. We're allowed to make racist jokes. But no, these motherfuckers are actually racist. He's actually one of the leaders of a white supremacist podcast making jokes about torturing black people. That's racist as fuck, dude. You can't just use it's all jokes as an excuse. We see right fucking through that, you goddamn piece of human excrement.
But it's made up in your mind.
No, it's made up.
Where's it made up?
It's a segment, and you can tell by the music, the sound effects, and in fact, it's used as a commercial break. We also have another segment called The Merchant Minute, which also features very edgy shock comedy, and that is also very clearly made up.
I don't find anything entertaining, comedy, or funny about it.
It doesn't matter what you find entertaining.
Yes, it does.
Audience
yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
This does.
It does because they were the ones voting to fire you, so it kind of matters a little bit.
The audience thinks it's funny. Okay?
Did you say the heat brings out the wild in the dindu, or dindu is a racial slur for black people? Did you say that?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Did you say as winter approaches, you, hey, I got the floor, buddy.
Go ahead, get mad, dude.
As winter approaches, the animals go into hibernation and the ridiculousness of the 911 calls goes down.
Right now, people are laughing right now at this somewhere.
Yeah, I don't see them.
Yeah, piece of shits might be laughing. They're mostly laughing at you, thinking this is appropriate, thinking as an EMT person who handles black people all the time, that you should go on a white supremacist show and make jokes about them being animals. It's just...
You will. I've got a much bigger audience than you.
I ran rescue around here for over 10 years. I took it very seriously. Everyone that I ran rescue squad with was a compassionate, caring human being. Some of the best people I ever ran with, you have sullied that reputation.
I have never mistreated a patient in my entire career. I made that abundantly clear.
McNabb, did you not say that you referenced an apartment complex, which I understand is Cedar Square, that houses people from all over Africa and West Africa? Did you say that? He said emergency workers called it Ebola Alley. Did you say that?
That's not a
Did you
reference.
say that you then called a black woman a Gedwisha and compared her to a shaved Harambe, which was a gorilla, a famous gorilla, which I treated as a patient?
He called her Harambe, called her a gorilla, basically.
Let me tell you, that gorilla had a sense of who she was.
Come on, tell it.
And a sense of dignity, I may also add. It's hard to find a Dindu vein anyway because they're black. Did you say that?
Yeah, it's in my show.
Do you know how many black veins I have hit personally in my career? Many. They are not any more difficult
How
to
many
find
cats have
than
you
white
saved in your
veins.
career? How many cats?
I was in rescue and I worked in East Africa in medical research. I hit a lot of veins.
Did you get attacked by any alligators?
You weren't there. Yes, I've been attacked by alligators.
I know.
I've been charged by elephants.
Tell it.
And I've put up with a
Okay,
lot
so
worse
now
than
that
you.
you've clarified that that's a comedy routine and that it's a
That
fun
there was an
sketch,
unruly
what-
young African American male child running around and your whatever you call
my
it,
fictional
Dr.
emergency
Narcan,
room, yeah.
terrorized that youngster with a needle and stabbed him in the arm using an improper needle size. Did you say that? Did you make that up? Do you think that's funny?
I think it's funny.
Tell it.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny torturing black children. That's hilarious, isn't it? I'm not a piece of shit. Don't fire me. God damn, dude. Like, you are... Like, it's hard to believe these people exist, but you know, that's what we're dealing with, folks. This is what the It's Just Jokes crowd has brought us. This is what toxic troll culture has brought us.
No.
My audience thinks
And to even have a thought
they don't
like
think you're
that,
funny though. They don't think you're funny at
to
all.
even have a thought like that is repugnant. You're talking about torturing children who are in your care.
Tell it.
It's free speech, buddy. It's free speech.
It is free speech, not in the back.
Your moral
Not
outrage
in the back of an ambulance,
convinces no
not
one.
where you are placed in charge, not where you
When
have
I'm on
the
duty,
ability
I'm a
to
professional.
actually torture
Wow,
people like
that's
this. You shouldn't torture children.
Like, I'm a professional. No, dude. No fucking professional would talk about their patients like this. No, even as a joke. Nobody would fucking do this if they're a professional. You're not a professional. You're a fucking joke, dude.
Never
You
tortured a
shouldn't
child.
think about torturing children.
Amen.
I've done comedy routines.
This is not
I'm
comedy.
I'm sorry that you don't think that's comedy, but my
No,
audience.
this is racism. This is unadulterated
Well, we have free
racism,
speech,
and
buddy.
it's Nazism. Yeah, you do.
Free speech has nothing to do with racism. Like, you can be racist and still have free speech, dude. Both these things are not mutually exclusive. What are you talking about?
Not a Nazi.
Not in
a
the
Nazi.
back, not in the back of an ambulance.
Well,
and if
that-
you're not a
that's
Nazi,
professional.
you certainly subscribe to many of their views.
Tell it.
Why don't you not dictate to me what my views are? You could start there.
Well, I'm
He's reading to you what you're saying, so these are clearly your views. You think this stuff is at least worthy of being joked, quote unquote, about. So those are your views, motherfucker.
trying to find out if you have any.
Well, so you're going to read through what a
It's all
HuffPost
right here.
smear piece says to find out about my views? I mean, you can tune into my show anytime. You can tune in
Gross.
we air Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Feel free to tune in. TheRightStuff.biz. Check it out.
I just don't think
Maybe
you should be.
you don't have a sense of humor.
I
so
don't
you
think
may
you
not
should
like it.
be in the back of an ambulance. Shut up! I've got
I'm a
the floor here.
professional.
That's it. That's it.
Shut the fuck up.
Now I'm gonna tell you that I ran rescue for all those years with a lot of people. No, I've got to tell this. Never once did I hear anybody say, I saved the life. The system saves the life, not you. And the system doesn't need you.
No, it sure doesn't. What a dickhead. So that's McNabb. If you guys want to shit on that dude, please do, because what a goddamn loser that motherfucker is.
When it's time to judge my soul,